5 ways to boost your confidence in front of the mirror. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, who is that person staring back at me? Maybe the face has a few more lines. The hair isn't as thick. The posture's changed a bit. And deep down, there's that quiet voice whispering, you're not who you used to be. If you've ever felt that way, I want you to know, you are not alone. But here's something most people won't tell you, confidence doesn't disappear with age. It just changes form. It's no longer about impressing the world, it's about reconnecting with yourself. And sometimes, all it takes is a few small shifts to look in the mirror and say, I like who I see. Today, we're going to talk about 5 powerful ways to boost your confidence in front of the mirror, not by trying to look younger, but by feeling prouder of the person you are today. Let's start with something simple, but incredibly powerful. Change the way you talk to yourself. You might be surprised how much your inner voice controls what you see. When you look in the mirror and say, ugh, I look terrible, your brain listens. It believes you. Even if it's just a passing comment, your subconscious holds onto those words like glue. But what if, instead, you said, I've made it this far, and I still have more to give? There's something magical about kind self-talk. It doesn't mean you ignore your flaws, it just means you don't let them define you. I remember chatting with a lovely woman named Gloria, 74, sharp as a tack. She told me she used to avoid mirrors altogether. One day, her granddaughter said, Grandma, you have the most beautiful smile. That moment changed everything. She started looking at herself differently. Noticing the warmth in her eyes, the strength in her shoulders. It didn't take a fancy cream or makeover. It took changing the script in her head. So, next time you see yourself in the mirror, catch that negative thought and flip it. Try saying something like, I'm still standing. And I'm still me. The more you practice, the more natural it feels. And over time, you'll be amazed at how much that shifts your confidence. Now, let's talk about something a bit more physical, but just as emotional. Posture. Sounds simple, right? But posture says more about confidence than anything else. Think about someone who's proud. How do they stand? Chin up. Shoulders back. Chest open. Even if they're tired, they hold themselves like they matter. But when we age, it's easy to let gravity take over. We hunch a bit. Shoulders round. Neck leans forward. It's not just a physical change, it affects how we feel about ourselves. The good news is, you can train your body to stand tall again. No, you don't need to do yoga on a mountaintop or balance books on your head, unless you want to. You just need a little awareness. Try this. Next time you pass a mirror, pause. Plant your feet. Pull your shoulders gently back. Take a deep breath and lift your chest. Don't force it, just open up your frame like you're ready to take on the day. Hold that position for 10 seconds. Notice how it feels. Even that small moment can trigger your brain to say, hey, I look strong. I feel grounded. It's like your body is sending a message to your mind, I am still here. I am still powerful. A gentleman I knew, Marvin, 68, told me he started doing this every morning. He'd stand in front of his bathroom mirror and hold a proud posture for 30 seconds. No words, no music. Just him, standing tall. After a week, he said he didn't recognize himself, not because of how he looked, but because of how he felt. More energized. More respected. More. Marvin. And that's what it's really about. Rediscovering the parts of you that never left, they were just waiting for a little attention. That brings me to the next piece of this journey. Dress for the day you want, not the one you fear. You know those days when you stay in pajamas till noon, just because no one's watching? Sure, it's cozy. But over time, it chips away at your self-image. The way we dress doesn't just change how others see us, it changes how we see us. You don't have to dress fancy or trendy. But you do deserve to feel put together. Even something as simple as a clean shirt, a favorite scarf, or brushing your hair with care, it all signals to your brain. I'm worth the effort. Think of it like this. You wouldn't leave a classic car out in the rain without a cover, right? You'd polish it. Take care of it. Not to impress anyone, but because it's valuable. And so are you. There was a man named Henry, 72, retired mechanic. He used to wear the same flannel shirt every day after retirement. His wife joked it was starting to walk on its own. But one morning, he surprised her. Wore a button-up. Combed his hair. Even put on cologne. She asked, "What's the occasion?" He smiled and said, "I just wanted to feel like myself again." That's the thing, dressing well isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about reconnecting with who you are. So tomorrow morning, when you see yourself in the mirror, try this. Put on something that makes you smile, even if no one else will see it. Because you will. And that's who matters most. Let's talk about something we often overlook, the stories we carry behind our reflection. Every wrinkle on your face, every gray strand of hair, they aren't flaws. They're chapters. They're the late nights rocking a crying baby. The hard-earned promotions. The love you gave and the losses you endured. But somehow, when we look in the mirror, we forget the stories and only see the signs of aging. That's where the real shift happens, when you stop seeing age as something to fix and start seeing it as something to honor. I once met a woman named Linda at a community center. She was 69, used to be a nurse, and had the kindest eyes. One day, she told me, "I avoid mirrors because they remind me of who I'm not anymore." So I asked her, "But do they also remind you of everything you are?" She paused. Then she smiled. "I never thought of it that way." You see, mirrors don't just show the surface, they reflect what we believe about ourselves. And if you walk into that moment thinking, "I'm just old now," well, that's all you'll see. But if you look with the eyes of someone who's survived, who's raised kids, built a life, learned hard lessons and kept going, suddenly, that reflection becomes something powerful. Try this the next time you catch your own eyes in the mirror. Don't look away. Just breathe and say quietly, "You've lived. You've loved. And you're still becoming." You may be surprised what that does to your heart. Now, let's move from the emotional to something that might sound small, but makes a huge difference. Light. Yes, lighting. Ever notice how department store mirrors make you look 10 years older? That harsh overhead lighting, the shadows, the weird angles? It's like they're designed to zap your confidence. But here's the good news, you're not stuck with that. Most people don't realize that changing the lighting in the room where you get ready, even just a bit, can shift how you feel about your appearance instantly. Soft, warm lighting does something magical. It doesn't hide who you are, it flatters the truth. It brings out the warmth in your skin, the sparkle in your eyes. It reminds you that you're not a museum piece under fluorescent lights, you're a living person, full of character. There's a gentleman I knew, Robert, 71. He'd been avoiding his bathroom mirror for years. Said it made him feel drained. One day, his daughter installed a soft LED light strip around the mirror. Nothing fancy. Just warm, gentle light. The next time I saw him, he said, I actually smiled at myself today. First time in a long time. Sometimes, it's not you that needs fixing, it's just the way you're seeing yourself. So if you're feeling down lately when you look in the mirror, check the lighting. Open a curtain. Add a lamp. Use a warm bulb. It sounds so simple, but it can change the entire mood of your reflection. Because you deserve to be seen, not under judgmental lights, but under gentle, forgiving ones. The kind that match your heart. And finally, there's one more piece of this puzzle. Maybe the most important one. Connection. Confidence doesn't grow in isolation. It grows when we feel seen, heard, and loved. You might be retired. You might live alone now. You might have fewer people around you than you used to. But don't let that become a reason to retreat from the world or from your own reflection. Call someone. Go to that local meetup, even if you don't know anyone there. Compliment a stranger's hat. Volunteer somewhere, even just once a month. Because every time you connect with another human being, and they smile back, something inside you says, I matter. I'm still part of this world. And that matters a lot when you're standing in front of the mirror. There's a retired school teacher I know, Miss Teresa. After her husband passed, she didn't leave the house for months. Said she felt invisible. Then one day, a neighbor invited her to help with a little library reading hour. At first she said no. Then she changed her mind. Now she goes every week. Reads to kids. Tells stories. And every time she looks in the mirror, she sees someone with purpose again. Confidence isn't about being bold or loud. Sometimes, it's just about knowing you still have a place in the world, and choosing to show up for it. Which brings us to something that quietly shapes our confidence more than we realize. Gratitude. It might sound simple, even cliché, but when practiced daily, gratitude can shift the entire way you see yourself and your reflection. See, we're often taught to notice what's missing. The firmness that used to be there. The hair that isn't. The youth that's gone. But rarely are we encouraged to notice what's still here. The hands that still create. The eyes that still see. The breath that still flows in and out, every single day. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about saying, even though I've changed, there is still beauty here. One lovely gentleman named Walter, he's 76 now, told me he started a little ritual. Each morning, after brushing his teeth, he'd look in the mirror and say out loud 3 things he was grateful for. Some days it was, I woke up today. My knees didn't hurt. I get to have coffee. Other days, it was, I miss my wife, but I still feel her love. And over time, that little habit made him walk taller. Not because anything changed on the outside, but because his heart felt fuller. And you know what happens when your heart is full? Your reflection softens. Your smile becomes more real. You stop picking yourself apart, and you start seeing someone worth celebrating. So here's something you can try. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone or turn on the news, go to your mirror. Look yourself in the eye and say, thank you. Thank your body for carrying you. Thank your mind for still learning. Thank your spirit for still showing up. You might feel silly the first time. But give it a week. You'll start noticing something shift. Not just in how you see yourself, but in how you feel about the day ahead. And at the end of the day, that's really what confidence is. It's not about looking younger, dressing fancier, or pretending you have it all figured out. It's about standing in front of that mirror at 60, 70, 80 years old and saying, this is me. And I'm proud of who I've become. Because you've lived. You've overcome. You've learned to love and to let go. And every line on your face, every scar on your body, every quiet ache in your joints, it's a part of the story you've written. A story worth honoring. So if you've been avoiding the mirror, if you've been feeling less than, if you've let time steal your confidence, let this be your reminder. You are still here. You are still valuable. And you are still becoming. And if no one else has told you today, I see you. I believe in you. And I hope the next time you see your reflection, you smile. If this message touched you in any way, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments, or even just a small thing you're grateful for today. It could mean the world to someone else reading it. And if you want more videos like this, practical, uplifting, and real, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community where age isn't a limit, it's a superpower. Here's to living your best life at any age. Here's to looking in the mirror and finally seeing someone you love. You've earned that.